you can use Google, you can link to your Google account to do that. And I promise you it's worth it. Okay, off come the goggles and the pool noodle. Fun stuff. Hopefully you got your screenshot for blackmail later. Okay, as we're getting set up and we're getting logged in, you do want to have your swag box nearby. You're gonna want some of the contents of your swag box for today's activity. So some contents or all would be great, but some would be awesome. Okay, so I see we have another like 5 or 6 participants. I'm putting a link in the chat for those of you just joining us. When you go to that link, you are going to want to sign in or sign up for an account with MakeBlock. And when you do that, you can use your Google account if you have a Google account through your school or personally, or you can make an account. And this also lets you be a part of the MakeBlock community and stuff. And I don't know if he's here to tell me next up, but I owe an apology. Oh, he's not here, good. I owe an apology to whoever I promised yesterday that I would incorporate microbit because I failed. Sorry. Did not.
I think that might have been no.
That it was James Wagner. He's not.
Yeah.
But I owe him an apology nonetheless. Okay, so this is Lunch and Learn. We are here to learn about AI. I want to get us started. I've put a link in the chat, and the link in the chat will take you to this page that you see on your screen. You do need to sign in or sign up for an account in order to have access to the artificial intelligence extensions that are programmed into this program. You cannot do those as a guest. And so when you sign in or sign up, you can use your Google account or your own email address. Doesn't matter. Just want to make sure we're all there. So as we get everyone kind of done with that process, I do want to talk briefly about AI and a little bit about what currently you can use in an introductory classroom with AI. So with AI in an introductory classroom, you start to get into some complex programming when you're to teach. I'm gonna mute everybody. Just because there's some background noise. But if you need to unmute yourself to ask questions, you're more than welcome to. But in an introductory classroom, there are some great resources for teaching AI. One of those great resources are on this pedagogy, CS Pedagogy and Activities link. If you haven't seen this document yet, you're missing out. It explains why all the rubber ducks were there yesterday. If you didn't learn about your rubber duck debugging, I want to call out Brittany from Beechwood Middle School, whose boyfriend is a software engineer, and he said his entire office all has rubber ducks on their desk. It is a real thing. I didn't make it up. We wanted to teach you about it. You can find a lot on Google about rubber duck debugging. It is a real thing. But today we're looking at artificial intelligence, and there's some really great resources here. And we're actually going to use the Google Teachable Machine today. I'm going to show you how that works. But with artificial intelligence, it's this idea of teaching a computer to be smart, to have artificial intelligence, to be a brain. You know, we're programming the computer to make decisions, to recognize things, to recognize objects in photographs and all of that. So what I did is I programmed a program that will recognize you, things about your swag box, all that good stuff. And I want to show it to you because it's a great way to introduce that AI capabilities to your students and then show them how they can build simple programs using these services that are out there. So the program we're going to look at today uses 2 artificial intelligence services. So Microsoft has Microsoft Cognitive Services. Microsoft Cognitive Services is Microsoft's artificial intelligence brain, and we're going to use that to showcase how AI works. And we also are using Google's Teachable Machine. and we're going to see those work. If you don't know what any of that means, no worries, because you're still gonna have a blast and have fun using this program. Okay, those of you just joining us, I've put a link in the chat, and when you visit that link, you will need to click sign in or sign up to sign up for an account on MBlock. It is a pretty beefy program, so it might take a moment to load. That's my fault. This is not a simple program. I can't do anything simple. So if it takes a moment to load, that might be the case. Another thought is that this website might be being blocked by some of your school district's filters. I know that like Scratch sometimes is blocked and people have to get it unblocked. So if you've never used this in your district, it might be blocked. Okay, so we are all looking at this page. There are instructions in writing. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna walk you through all of those. I just tried to overly document instructions. This program, in order to work, it does not work in this preview mode. We actually need to all go into the source code link. So when you're looking at the program page, and you can choose to just watch if you want, or you can follow along, but we're gonna go to the source code link. And when you do that, you're going to see the code of this project load so you can see the code and see the program in full. If you've never used a block-based programming language before, you might not have seen an interface like this before, but this program is built in something similar to Scratch called MBlock, and it's block-based programming, and the code is pretty simple to read. The good news is, for us to play and explore with this program, you do not need to know how to read the code just yet, okay? You do not need to know how to read the code just yet. But what we're looking at is the top left corner of our screen is where we will play. So I'm gonna click the full screen icon just to make it full screen for now, okay? There's a couple settings that need to happen in order for this to run on your computer, because we're gonna be using the camera. So you cannot have the Zoom camera on and the artificial intelligence camera on. So if you have your Zoom camera on, you probably need to turn your Zoom camera off, your video off. Goodbye, all these pretty faces I'm seeing. If you have your Zoom camera on, you're gonna need to turn your Zoom camera off, because you cannot have both. Your computer does not allow both cameras to be working. We also need to change, if your Zoom's on your cell phone or another device, you're good to go. You're good to go. Trey, can you please help Denise in the chat? Darwin did. You're gonna click the source code. So when you're looking at this screen, you're gonna click source code icon to get to the code, source code. This is the last step. Once we do this last step, your program should work on your computer. We need to set the camera and microphone settings for this page. If you are in Google Chrome, it's as simple as clicking, I'm not to the green flag yet, It's as simple as clicking the little lock icon, coming down to site settings. And when you go to site settings for MBlock, you will need to allow the camera and the microphone, okay? Allow the camera and the microphone for the ide.mblock.cc. Okay, I'm glad, Eddie, that you found source code. So the next step.
Repeat them, Rosemary.
Yep, I'm going to repeat those completely. So you found the source code, etc. The next step is, if you are in Google Chrome, this is where it's at. You're going to click the little lock icon next to the URL. You're going to come down to site settings. And when you are on site settings, you are going to allow the camera and the microphone. Okay, now for those of you that are not with us, I'm going to give an opportunity to help you individually, but I want to go ahead and take the group that is with me and show them how they can start using this, and I'll let them play, and I'll come back and repeat all of that and help anybody that needs individual help, okay? So once you allow your microphone and your camera, what we're gonna do is when you click the green flag, it's gonna appear like nothing happened. Green flag is the start button. So I'm just gonna walk you through these steps, and I wanna show everyone what's happening. So even if you're trying to follow along, just watch for a moment. Even if you're trying to follow along, watch for a moment. We're gonna hit the green flag. We're gonna click this box and it'll disappear. I'll help you, Lisa, give me a moment. Okay, so there are 8 different SMART categories, 8 different things that your program can do. If I click age, you will see this recognition window pop up, and mine is mad because I did not turn my Zoom video off. So goodbye Zoom video. Let's try this again. Okay. If I click age, it's going to load my video and my microphone, and it's going to take a picture of me and detect how old I am. It's usually pretty accurate. Ooh, it aged me a bit. It said I was 37. Did you catch that? I'm gonna play it again. It said I was 37. That's the oldest it's ever said I was. Oh, I'm 42. Okay, if you know me, I'm not 42. So it has age prediction, and it predicts your age based on using artificial intelligence from Microsoft Cognitive Services. It's kind of scary to think how old it thinks you is. Okay, so another one, maybe you want to click the feeling and you want to smile real big and see what happens to our emoji. Or maybe you want to hit feeling and cry. And what happens to our emoji? Oh, I was angry. I missed my tears on that one. Okay.
Where does the age pop up?
Click on the main instructions. So when you hit the green flag, these instructions are here. If you click on them, they disappear.
Yeah, I clicked on the age button, but I'm not seeing where it's giving me my age.
Your emoji is going to speak. Your emoji is going to speak.
Oh, let me do that again then.
Okay. Or maybe you want to grab your sunglasses from your swag box and press the glasses button. Yes, you may share this project with whoever you want. Your sunglasses emoji. Or maybe you wear reading glasses and you want to check the glasses button. Ha! And it detects whether you're wearing glasses. Okay, I want you to explore some of the other ones. The reading one detects handwriting. If you wrote something down on paper and held it up to the screen, which I don't have anything, this, and we read it, make sure your volume is turned up.
2020 Annual Co-Welcome Toad's first ever virtual conference. We are so excited for you to be with us. Please enjoy this goodie box.
So if you put words in front of the screen and you hit read, it will read it to you. I'm going to repeat all of these instructions. I want to repeat all of them, I promise. But for those of you with me, I want to give you time to play. So the reading reads, the feeling detects emotion. There's 10 different emotions. The I Spy looks in your background and tells you what it sees. If you have a mask, it will detect whether you're wearing your mask. I don't have mine with me, I'm sorry. But if I cover my mouth, it will detect if you're wearing a mask. So the last thing I want to show you, because it sounds like some of you just want to play, and I'm going to let you. I'm going to help somebody in a second. All those that need help, I'm coming back to you, I promise. But it looks like about half of you are with me and having a blast. So I'm coming back and help those that need it. But the genius is where things are at. Okay? Wait. Oh, man, it messed up. Hold on. Something in my view. My secrets are being shown. if you do Genius and you hold things up, it detects from your box what you are holding up. This is the teachable machine. Hold on, there's a lot of light reflection. I turned my light up and I need to turn it back down. There we go. Okay. So if you hold up different things from your box, it knows what it is. And it's a lot of fun. And there's some surprises. So hold up different things from your box and see what happens. Okay, I want you guys to have fun when you're playing with the Genius. You have to press the space bar to stop the Genius from running. Yes, Jennifer, you might need to get closer to the camera. Make sure you're close to the camera, but that one's fun. That one's fun. Okay, so people asking, I want to talk real quick about the functionality of this project, and then I'll continue to help people, and we can also help you in the help desk as well. I just don't want to waste everyone, I don't want to consume everyone's time. So I have put in, when you look at this project and you look at the instructions for this project, I have put the type of AI that is happening with each feature so that if you wanted to take this back into your classroom and identify it, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what I'm showing you and you can see what I'm talking about. But with the main project page, I have explained which artificial intelligence features are being used by this program. So, because this program contains a ton of the features. So the I Spy is a common object identification where it's looking at a photo or whatever it's around it. You can hold up a can of soda, you can put sunglasses in the screen, etc. And when you do that, it's going to try and identify keywords for what is being seen in the photo. This is used a lot by search engines when they are putting images into the image search results, and it's used a lot in like security and like when they're trying to detect what is in any type of video footage or photographs. This is a database of keywords and objects, and it's using AI to look at the image and decide what's there. Then you have the feeling, which is using your facial expression recognition. It's looking at the facial expressions and the features of the face, and it's determining how the features of the face are being moved around, and it's comparing those to different photos it has learned about facial expressions and emotions, and it's detecting your emotion. The mask recognition is actually on this program, because I changed it, using a is the mouth covered feature. It's not using mask detection. Mask detection that they have built into this is from the Chinese cognitive services, and I didn't want to install that on your, I didn't want you guys to be using that one because it's in beta in the US. So I used is the mouth covered. So any type of covering the mouth, if it doesn't detect the general shape of a mouth and teeth and smile and lips, it's going to say that you have a mask on. Glasses, again, you can't just hold your hands up in front. It's looking for features of glasses. It has been programmed to detect the types of glasses that are out there. So it does detect reading glasses. It does detect sunglasses. It detects if you're wearing no glasses, okay? And then you have age prediction, which is using the Microsoft Cognitive Services, where it's looking at your facial features, your stress levels, apparently, the number of wrinkles, because apparently I aged. I also have noticed that the amount of your forehead showing for females, the amount of forehead showing does impact the features of AI. And then the reading uses the handwriting recognition as well as text to speech, because it's speaking it out. So it's taking the handwriting, converting it to written text, and then taking the written text and converting it to words, like a Siri or an Alexa does. The opinion statement, if any of you saw the opinion statement, hopefully you put a positive opinion and a negative opinion. If you put a positive opinion, you get a fun emoji. And if you put a negative opinion, you also get a fun emoji. Some of you might have discovered the negative opinion emoji. And it's using the English language and determining the tone of voice. So you write an entire sentence and it determines whether that sentence is considered to be a positive or negative tone. And then the teachable machine, and I wanted to show you the behind the scenes of the teachable machine real quick. For those of you who don't know a ton about teachable machine and how it works, some of you have red playing cards. I have blue playing cards. My playing cards are blue box. So if you have a red box of playing cards or a different brand, some of you had generic playing cards, your playing cards might not have detected appropriately. Also, some of you have the big bag of kinetic sand and you might have a different color. Mine is blue. So if yours is a different color, it might have had a hard time detecting your sand because I only programmed it with blue sand. So you might need to fix or reteach your teachable machine. So I want to show you how the teachable machine works. So I'm still sharing my screen, and if you come down to the TM, category and you go to the training model, just watch if you're watching. I want to show you how I programmed the AI to recognize all of these things. Okay. And yes, Denise, you're very much correct. We're going to come back to the bias as well as the downfalls of AI. We're going to come back to that. So with the teachable machine, I have programmed pictures in. You will not see the samples that I have programmed in because it doesn't show those previews to you. But for example, I have programmed kinetic sand. That's the bag. And if yours is not recognizing the bag, you can hold it up and hit learn and click and hold down on learn and move your bag around in the screen and have it detect and add to your samples more samples. Same thing with your playing cards. If your playing cards are red, it might not be detecting them. And you can come down, and when you hold it up, it should tell you what it's detecting. And if it's not detecting yours, you can come in here and hold down learn and put different angles of your playing cards into the AI, and it will learn it in the teachable machine. I strongly suggest you do not click build a new model. That's a problem. We're going to use the model that exists. But you can begin to train this to to recognize your specific things in your box, because they're like same thing as if your sand was in the bucket, your bucket might have a purple lid. And if your bucket has a purple lid, you can't see me. If your bucket has a purple lid, mine has a pink lid, but if yours has a purple lid, you might need to retrain yours as well to be able to recognize the purple lid. And if you make changes to the project, you're going to want to save it in your account. But I wanted you to see how AI can be used for object recognition and how you can use block-based programming, which many of you are learning. Almost everyone at the over 180 of you are using block-based programming in your workshops of some sort. You might be using code.org or whatever, but you can start to use block-based programming to recognize some of these features and use some of the AI. AI is not without its flaws. AI definitely has flaws. All of you are now or will be when you claim it tomorrow, claim your CSTA Plus membership. When you guys become a CSTA Plus member, you get access to the 2020 CSTA conference and all of the recordings of all of the sessions. And there was some really, really great sessions on bias and especially in relationship to AI and racial bias, and how AI has a hard time with because it hasn't been programmed effectively. and it hasn't had a diverse team, a lot of times that it misses the mark. And there was a really great keynote session, and they talked about the complications of not being seen by motion sensors. Different skin tones have by not being able to get faucets to run. And it was very eye-opening to me. And it was a very well presented keynote. And there is a lot of, yes, thank you, Sarah, for putting in the name of the session. So if you have time to go back and listen to those sessions, there were some really awesome sessions. I did not get to attend all of the AI sessions. I want to go back and listen to them because it's not without its flaws and it's not without its bias. And that's where we can have a great conversation among our classrooms. I know I put the age in, and I know age and facial expressions were going to be the two that were probably the most inconsistent and not the most effective on here, because it's not recognizing objects, it's talking about people, and it's recognizing people. There were some others that I purposefully chose not to. Like there's gender recognition, which I think is heavily biased. And I think that is, we're putting that decision-making in the hands of a computerized device that's been programmed by humans. And I think that there needs to be some caution in using some of those features. But you'll see that when you go to the code and you look at AI, there is speech recognition, and it can convert your speech, it can translate. There's all sorts of image recognition, common objects, age, emotion, head gestures. So if you move your head left and right, you can make the screen do something different. There's hair color. And of course, lighting matters for some of this as well. But it's a pretty cool exposure to some of the neat things you can do with AI and teachable machines. And if you had flashcards, you could program all of those flashcards in like a little kid's classroom with like animal flashcards. You could program all the animal flashcards into the teachable machine, and you could have the program react to those cards or tell a story, etc. So, and yes, when you save it to your account, if you make changes to this, you can save it to your account and it will save a copy there. When you signed up for this CSPD week, you get a free CSTA Plus membership for a year, which is the upgraded version of CSTA National membership. And you will be receiving information about that in the weeks ahead. Tomorrow will be step one of claiming that. You have to go in and sign up for the free membership before we can upgrade you to the Plus membership. So tomorrow in the Daily Digest, you will have instructions for signing up for your CSTA membership, free membership, and then we behind the scenes will upgrade you to the CSTA Plus membership once you have your free membership in place. Some of you already are free members. And Denise, I am working on what that looks like. If you already have it and you got free membership, if you got free registration here, you won't get another year. But if you paid for registration and paid for CSTA Plus, I'm looking into the National's ability to extend your membership a year. We are not recording this week. The workshops that you will have access to are actually the sessions from the National Conference. The National Conference was last week, and with part of your National CSTA Plus membership, you will have access to the National Conference recordings that were last week. And there's some great sessions. Yes, I see Jennifer holding up her book. Your book, the front and back of the book is programmed in. So the front and back of your book should work. I hope you enjoyed playing with this program. Take your swag box and this program back to your students. Let them play with it. Let them see it. Let them remix it. If you want to dig deeper into the programming, this one is pretty complex, but maybe we can spend some time asynchronously looking at how we can make simple programs using the AI as well as the teachable machine. But I'm glad everyone was able to get it to connect and have some fun with this. Share it with your workshop participants that were not able to join us at Lunch and Learn. Participate in the a contest and have some fun. I mean, the rubber ducks are a little bit hard because there's so much space behind it. So I'm still having a hard time with the rubber ducks. I tried putting them in front of like a white piece of paper. So you might need to reprogram your rubber duck as well. But I enjoyed making it. And James, if you're still here, I owe you an apology because I did not incorporate microbit if you're still here. I don't think he is. I think he left.
Of course I am. Where else would I be?
I did not incorporate the microbit. I recognize
I will cry.
that you have to, microbits only work with MakeCode when they're downloaded and installed because microbit's USB feature, and MakeCode hasn't upgraded to their new web-based platform yet, their API. So the MakeCode hasn't, the inBlock hasn't. So I couldn't combine my technologies because Microsoft Cognitive Services isn't fully implemented in the download version. It's only
I think MakeBlock makes the 8th platform for this week so far.
Okay. Hey, watch it now.
I'm just.
I think it's like the 4th.
Not having everything work together was something that was going to happen, so it's not a big deal. I'll just have a really cool toy that I don't know how to use.
I will teach you how to use it. I promise.
Can you share, Rosemary, can you share again on how to add learning features to it? I don't see where it's there.
Okay, you cannot add. Okay, so when you go to Teachable Machine, it's the TM. And when you go to the training model, you cannot add a new one here. Okay? I have 15. If you want to take something at your desk and train it in, you need to delete one of my 15 out. What I would recommend deleting is this. If you got a bucket of sand, delete out the kinetic sand. If you got official kinetic sand, delete out the sand at the bottom because you don't need both because your box didn't come with both. And so then once you do that, and I got to turn my camera off and come back in here. Hold on. Once you have, I told it 15, you can't add another item. It's already started to make its cognitive decisions. So here I am on my screen. So if I want to continue to program like the book, so the Code of Sandcastle book, and I want it to learn it, I just hold the item up and I click learn, I hold learn down, and as I hold learn down, it's taking a ton of photos of the object and it's getting smarter as you do that. So you can begin, so like for example, I have these shark sunglasses because they're awesome. And it's not really sure if these are sunglasses. When I look at the screen, the sunglasses result is, it comes up, but like it starts to get to like 60%. So if I want to program these as sunglasses, and including with my other sunglasses, sorry, I'm trying to scroll. This mouse jumps when I scroll. Okay, so I want to program my shark sunglasses because it's really not sure. It starts to get confused. I can have it learn these sunglasses as well, and it'll know that these are sunglasses.
Okay.
And then I can even do that with these. So these are also sunglasses, and I can start to program other sunglasses in. So sunglasses you have on your desk, you can start to program. And let's not judge the fact that I have like 8 pair on my desk, some real ones and some decorative. Oh my gosh, this is really bad. I really do have like a 5 million pair of sunglasses on my desk. So I can start to, if you know me, I have lots of sunglasses. And I can start to program sunglasses in all different types. I can open them up, and now I can have my machine knows lots of pairs of sunglasses. I can put them on my face, and I can program sunglasses on my face. You know, you can start to program massive amounts of sunglasses by just holding it down and having it take pictures. Is this making sense?
The only thing I'm confused is I'm looking at it is how do I get it into the training, the model training? Because I don't see it in my MBlock with all the blocks that are there. I scrolled up to the top and it's not there.
Did you come down to the TM section? It's like a teal. You have motion, look, sound, and down to the bottom should be TM.
Ah, okay. Now that
Teachable
helps.
machine.
Gotcha.
Teachable machine. And then training models at the top. And you're not going to see all these extra things I just trained mine to do. But now mine can recognize all of the sunglasses on my desk.
Gotcha. Now I know where to go. That's what I wanted to look for. Thank you.
And so you can do that. You can do that with, so for example, anybody in here in the elementary workshop? The elementary workshop is working with the M-Tiny robot. Okay, and the M-Tiny robot, I have one downstairs. So the M-Tiny robot comes with these little programming cards. And when you take the programming cards, you can basically program this to know what the programming cards are. So a kid could hold up the programming cards and control their character on the screen to do something based on the programming cards they hold up, right? Couldn't you? So now you've taken an unplugged programming activity and it's still unplugged for that kid, but your high school kids could turn it into an interactive activity using image recognition. Told you I had cool things planned. Those of you who hung out in our networking yesterday afternoon, I said today is going to be fun. So there's some really fun stuff here that you can do with AI. You can dig into the features, but there's all sorts of different recognition available. So I hope this was fun. I hope you enjoyed it.
Rosemary, I have a quick question. Hey, it's Denise.
Yes. Hi, Denise.
Hey, I went to the AI symposium. I received a bunch of grant funds to teach AI this year in the classroom. I don't know what it's going to look like. But this is this has got me really excited because I was familiar with Teachable Machine. I was familiar with MIT App Inventor. There's Akinator out there. There's some different other resources. Is this the main one that you're using? Do you have any other resources as well? I mean, this is amazing. Do you have anything else that you use besides this?
So full disclosure, because I'm honest and I want everyone to know, I'm currently contracted with MakeBlock to write curriculum. That was a result of COVID. My job had to shift gears big time. But I'm a fan of MBlock. I have already purchased almost $500,000 worth of their products when I wasn't working with them. So for what that's worth, full disclosure, this is one of many options. I'm not saying this is the only one. They are, in my opinion, the best block-based out there with AI functionality easily built in. They also have some really awesome cloud functionality and Wi-Fi functionality, which I did not even get into, but where your kids can send messages from one program to another program.
Just what we need.
They also have Google Classroom integration, so you can make your own sample projects and put them right into Google Classroom. So that also is helpful.
Okay, now you did this for free, basically, on their platform, right? You created this.
Yeah, I'm designing curriculum for them that will be, some of it will be for sale, but most of it will be the getting started guides for a few products they have coming out.
Okay.
I also taught a series of webinars.
Have to purchase the MBots or no?
They have a series of MBlock video webinars I did for them back in March on their website on YouTube that you can watch. I've done a whole series of using MBlock in the classroom.
Okay.
In my defense, I did not write the lessons, so it might not have been the way I would teach them, but I did teach them well. They just weren't my lessons. So taught somebody else's lessons. I taught eight hours worth of training on MBlock. But I'm not writing MBlock curriculum. I am writing device curriculum. They have some hardware coming out. You do not have to have their hardware to use their software. Their software is awesome. It is web-based. It is Chromebook compatible. It is, it also has an app that you can install, but the app doesn't have AI.
Okay, so if I wanted my kids to build something similar to this and say, just identify, they'd be able to the animal cards, they can just do that, correct?
Yeah, I'll show you how easy it is. Give me one moment.
Okay.
So if you look at the pedagogy document from today, we also included this AI and machine learning with block-based programming, and this uses Snap and Scratch features, mostly Snap. Snap is another block-based program. Infusing Computing uses it. Snap is very similar to Scratch, and they have some different things So they have the machine learning for kids, which is one of my favorite. They talk about MBlock. These are the two that I did. So this right here is literally what we did in this session. And then there are a few others, but the machine learning for kids is a great website for teaching AI in a block-based classroom for an introductory CS classroom. And so machine learning for kids, when you go through it, there are worksheets and lessons, and the lessons are in Scratch and in Snap. Most of them are in Snap, but you can, oh, some of them are in Python. I'm sorry. So some of our upper level CS teachers, there are some in Python here. And when you look at these, there's all sorts of different smart AI related lessons and block based. I'm not going to go through all these. So Denise, these right here are going to be a great resource for you. And
Yep.
and there's some really cool.
Yeah, I've seen that
And-
one before. So that one is really
Okay,
cool.
most of these can be done in MBlock. Most of these you could do in MBlock if you wanted to stay in one place, because all these features should be in MBlock.
Okay.
And then with making your own program, so if you're in MBlock and you make your own program, like File New. Sorry, I have my blue light glasses on, but I'm realizing my ring light is like, when you go to File New and you have a brand new program, you have to add the AI extension at the bottom. So you go to Extensions and you need to add the AI and the Teachable Machine. They're not there by default. I don't want device, I want Sprite extensions. And so, oh, I forgot. There's also Google Sheets integration. So you can log your data on Google Sheets. It automatically will log sensor data and data right into Google Sheets. So you can basically track anything you want in Google Sheets in this program because there's Google Sheets integration.
That is very cool because I'm a Google school. So we have Chromebooks.
Yep. So there is Google Sheets. And so you can also do video sensing, which I know Scratch has, and some of those activities that I just showed you have video sensing. You do not want to use the AI service that's for China only, because that goes back to China servers, and I would imagine in your school setting that probably is blocked. So I have Microsoft Cognitive Services API installed. I have Teachable Machine. I could add the data chart, which also charts data in the program, not in Google Sheets. And I can show you what that looks like. The cloud message is the one where I was saying you can have one student communicate with another student using cloud messaging. You have the standard ones that Scratch has, which are like pen and music. There's also climate, so you can bring in your climate from your local area and region. Like there's a ton of extensions that bring in a lot of smart capability that isn't as easy in Scratch or easily.
Yeah, I even see the makey, which I have some of those in the classroom as well.
So there's the Google Sheets. There's a translate component. Note that some of these are from China, and so they're by different Chinese developers, so you might not be able to fully use them.
Well, what about the text to speech? Because that's not AI, is it?
Nope, I have it installed. I actually used it. I used it in the one that we just did. It's in the project.
Okay. So the only two blocks I need for AI are those two at the top. The ones that
Teachable Machine and AI, and text to speech if you want it to speak a word.
Okay. Well, when you want it to speak a word, isn't that doing verbal recognition or speech recognition?
I mean, text to speech is considered, it's one of the earliest parts of AI, but it is considered part of, because it's having to read and then convert it to speech.
Okay.
It's not really that advanced, but it's something that is unique because I don't think Scratch has the ability to do. I don't remember.
Okay.
I haven't used Scratch.
Right.
So Teachable Machine is the one. So like if you're starting a brand new thing, you just go to training model and I would build a new model here.
Yeah, this is cool because I just use Teachable Machine on its own, like on the website. I've never seen it integrated into.
So that's exactly what this lets me. This lets me actually use the machine that was taught and do something with it. So now I can say like Panda. So let's say if I can say, let's just do this. If X, Y. Y is up and down. I do know my answer. Okay. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna make him jump. Okay. So if, let's do popcorn. So the recognition result will always show up. Oh, hold on, I gotta turn my camera off on Zoom, sorry. It's the only bad thing about doing virtual. Okay. The recognition result will always be whatever it's seeing. And in this case, it's seeing my glasses, so it thinks it's sunglasses. So the recognition result, even if it's only like 20% confident, it's gonna still do that. So I like confidence of. So I say if the confidence of something is greater than 80%, so if it's for sure popcorn, like 80% sure it's popcorn, I'm gonna say 80%. So if it's 80% sure it's popcorn, my panda is gonna jump up and down. Okay, that's what I just programmed it to do, right? So I can put glasses in the screen and it's not gonna do anything. Well, let's do sunglasses. I can do sunglasses in the screen, nothing. But when I put popcorn in the screen, it's not 80% yet. Hold on, my bag is, there we go. It's 90% sure. So, oh, I didn't hit the green flag. It helps if I actually hit play, y'all. Okay. Now it's running. And if I put popcorn in the screen, it's 90%. My panda should jump up and down. It's not working. Why is it not working? If confidence of popcorn is greater than 80%. I don't know if this teachable machine automatically gets imported in or not. Did I say use? I don't think I said use. I've not actually used an existing teachable machine that's already in. So hold on. Running. Popcorn's 99. I mean, this is all I did to program the other one, so I know I'm programming it. I don't know if I have to reprogram a new teachable machine in because I didn't.
Does it know to identify the bag? Or is it going to
Well, yeah. My training model had it programmed in, but it doesn't anymore. So I'm wondering if I need to build a new model. I'm just really scared to erase this model that's here because I've never done it before.
That's okay.
Okay, we're taking a risk. See, I'm concerned.
Save,
I'm concerned.
Save. Save.
This scares me.
Why don't you pick something else? Just pick something else to make the panda go up and down.
Well, I don't think, I mean, sunglasses are in this one. If sunglasses confidence is more than 80%, it should jump, but it's not. So I don't know why. So I think it's my teachable machine is flawed.
Or you may be missing a block, maybe somewhere. Sometimes that's it.
No, it's not, there's nothing missing there because I can make a variable and it'll work. I mean, like, it's not, I think it's my teachable machine. So like, if we go to AI real quick and we do if, okay, instead of teachable machine, let's do if age is greater than 10, because that will be, I mean, it knows I'm older than 10. I run this. Oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Change y by 10. Wait 1 second. Change y by -10. It should jump. Oh, my camera never came up. Hold on. I didn't recognize my age. That helps. Recognize my age. Oh, it helps if I actually tell it to think about how old I am. Okay. And so it's going to look at me. It's going to recognize my age. If I am more than 10, it's going to jump.
Yeah, I see it.
So I'm very scared to clear my teachable machine. I want to do that on a different device or a different account, maybe when I'm not logged in. I don't know, I'm scared. I'm very scared to clear out all the hour worth of work to program 15 different items into my teachable machine.
That's okay. But yeah, it's really cool. And I think my kids can definitely use it. So it'd be lots of fun.
Yeah, it should be as simple as being able to come in here and program using the blocks just like before. So like here, if I'm over 10 years old, it's going to jump. But like also, so what I did was like here, recognize common objects and then take the common objects and say them. That's all I said to do. Oops, looks. Say the common objects for 2 seconds. And so when it does that, it looks in the screen and it says that there is a person, a wall, an indoor, human, face, and fashion accessory. See my headband? It's a fashion accessory. Now, when I moved, it's a person, a wall, an indoor, face, human. You know, if I get out of the way and I hold up a can of sparkling water, let's see what it says. There's a soft drink. If I, you know, it's recognizing common objects. I don't know if it's going to recognize playing cards. It might be too complicated. There's text. Recognize there's text. Should recognize glasses. Yeah, spectacles, glasses. I wonder if it'd recognize a flower. It might call it a fashion accessory. Definitely my headband is a fashion accessory. Flower, girl, rose.
Yeah.
So you see that, like, that's a really simple, and all I did was pull in the common, that's 3 blocks of code doing that.
Very
And
cool.
it can start to make decisions about what's in the background. And the handwriting also is just as good. It works well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. It was great.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
I haven't been following the chat, so if I missed something, yay for whoever got the rubber duck to work. Yes, this is Machine Learning for Kids. Great website. What can I do to answer questions? Did we enjoy this? Post in your Slack that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I liked learning about all the fun features of AI. Good. That was much lunch and learn. So if you have questions, go right ahead.
Hey, Rosemary, I know it's just for me because I'm needy. I'm sorry. If you can put me in touch with something to use the cool, awesome tool you sent me.
So yes, and actually let me show you that cool, awesome place to get a cool, awesome introduction to that tool. I'll put a link in the website because I remembered that I did a webinar a year ago about this cool, awesome tool. So I got a webinar for the microbit to share, and I will put it in the chat. But also I can show you, if you don't have anywhere to be for the next little bit, I don't either, and I can show you how to do it.
In theory, I'm supposed to be in asynchronous time writing down something about a program, but I'm close to done, so.
So you have time.
I should have time.
Let me return momentarily. I gotta go get my microbit. It's right across the hallway. Hold on. I have not programmed this microbit on this. I've not programmed a microbit on this computer, so bear with me, but it should be easy.
I'm going from 0. Now, is this the thing that the BBC bought into a couple years ago?
Yes.
All right, because I found it when I was doing the National Science Foundation Computational Thinking Brain Trust thing, and I was going to try to implement some of it with that, but I have it all saved in my Amazon to buy later.
So
once I figured out what it was.
So everyone in the room, we are transitioning from AI to a slightly different topic. In your box, your swag box, you either got, sorry, hold on, I'm digging. You either got a circuit playground if you are in code.org CS Discoveries, or you got a white box, which James has, which has a microbit in it, okay? Yes? Okay, now just a heads up, it is 1:12, so if your session was getting back together at 1 p.m., goodbye, farewell, enjoy your 1 p.m. session. Those of you still hanging out, you're more than welcome to. Just wanna make sure you're in the right place. Okay, microbit, circuit playground, both of which program in the software I'm about to pull up on the screen. So you can they're slightly different the way they program. I'm going to use the microbit because that's what most of you have, and you might not be using it in your workshop, but you can use it with what you are learning. So like James is in the Python workshop, and you can program James is in the Beauty and Joy of Computing workshop. So he knows Python, and you can program these in Python. He doesn't. He's going to learn a lot about these. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to put the link in the chat. There is a website to program these, and I can tell you a little bit about these and how they work. Okay. Trey, I am not following the massive amounts of Slack notifications coming in, so if I need to be, let me know. Okay. Your microbit came with a USB cord. You need it. I am going to use a different one because that one's really short and I need to be able to hold it up on my camera. So I have
Static free.
Okay. So let's see if that USB cord reaches. Ooh, can you see it? Yes. Okay, wonderful. Much longer. Okay. When you plug it in, there's a little light. Okay, great. That's all. You plug it in. These are really easy to use. They program in a lot of different languages. You can program them in Python using MicroPython, but also the microbit. That's not what I wanted. The microbit website also has a Python editor now. So when you code it, there's the make code editor, which is where I just went. There's a Python editor, and they now have a classroom environment where you can have all of your students, if you're especially with remote learning, in your classroom, and you can see all of their code that they're working on in the moment. So that's also really neat. If you have a class set of these, you can manage the programming of them through the web. So you can monitor your student use of microbits, even if they're remote learning. These are also very inexpensive. They're about $15 to $20 a piece, which is a very affordable technology to bring physical computing into your classroom. I'm a very big fan of physical computing. Physical computing lets you see your code in action. There's input and output that is different than just keyboard controls or mouse controls. And so it opens up a lot more opportunities to program. That's one of the things, I'm full disclosure again, I am working for MakeBlock. That's one of the things I love working and helping write curriculum for MakeBlock is that it's device programming, not just abstract like software programming. So it's bringing hardware and software together, and microbit does that. So with the microbit, there are multiple editors. I'm going to start with the drag and drop editor, which is block-based. And the greatest thing here is there's tons of tutorials. There's a basic level curriculum here as well. But we can just click new project, create a new project, and I can show you how to do some very basic programming. I have turned this one on before, so mine has a program on it already. But if you didn't, when you power it on for the first time, it's going to walk you through like press the A button, press the B button, hello world, and it'll have a heart and just different things. Like I think it's a beating heart. It has some basic code already built into it. Mine's not because I've used it before. So there's two different types of loops. If you are new to block-based programming or are learning it for the first time this week, you will be learning the concept of a loop. But a loop is very much something you'll know, but this has an on start and a forever. So this is actually an event on start. It will, every time you restart, it will do this, and this will do whatever you put inside forever will happen forever. So basic is just some very, very basic things. So like I can choose show icon, and I can have the LED matrix light up with some sort of icon, and say I want a smiley face when I turn it on. Okay, there's an emulator on the left-hand side that will let you see your code in the emulator. And so you can see the code, and there is the download button at the bottom. And when you download it, it pops into your downloads folder. And when you download it, your downloads folder should indicate, this is not my computer, so don't judge the downloads folder. when you download things, it will show up in your downloads folder as the most recent, and this shows up as a flash drive on your computer when you plug it in. I can spell HIJKLMNOB. Where is it? Oh, it's backwards. Oh no, it's not. Micro. There it is. Okay. And then, in theory, this should be a flash drive on this computer, but I don't see it. So, try different USB port. It might also be that I used a cord that is not come with it.
I'd never noticed the LEDs on it, so that makes much more sense when you're talking about programming and doing things to start with.
It's also Bluetooth compatible, so I'm going to try and connect via Bluetooth. I'm not really sure why it's not plugging in.
The 0123V, those can be hooked like as if it was a makey to other things.
Yes. Sorry, okay. I needed to understand the question you were asking. So yes, give me one moment. Oh, you know what? My firmware might be outdated. I haven't used this microbit in a long time. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Talking me through it would work probably just as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to show
a lot more information than I had. So
I'm gonna have to go get my other one. I have a bunch of them, but they're in my office. Okay. So you basically download it, but like, yes, so these are capacitive touch pads, but you can also, there's a ton of add-ons that clip on. So this plugs into add-ons, but it also, you can use alligator clips to clip onto these. You can hook them to copper tape or pretty much any sensor. So when you start to program these, there's input. So you have button A, button B. It also has a gyro, so it can detect shaking, and it can detect things like whether the logo is face up or the logo is face down, whether the screen is face up or the screen is face down, it's tilted left or right. So like when it says logo up, logo down, screen up, screen down, like it has all those different, and it makes it really user friendly for what the X, Y, and Z axes are. It talks about the type of force, whether it's a 3G force, 6G force, 8G force, as input. So it makes it very easy for that, but this is your pins that you were talking about. So you have pin 0, pin 1, and pin 2 along the bottom. Those 3 pins are there. And actually every single one of these tiny little lines are also a pin as well. They all can be broken out using a breadboard if you needed to. There's a breadboard extension, so you can program, there's multiple other ports you can program if you want to get that complex. There is not a built-in speaker, but there are instructions for taking headphones and using alligator clips to clip on here, and then you have speaker. You can plug headphones in, not plug them, clip them in using alligator clips, and you have full speaker capability. There are the LED matrix on the front. There's radio frequencies, so they can communicate, microbits can communicate with one another using RF. And sending radio signals to each other. You have various loops, so for loops, while loops, etc. You have if and if else's and if else ifs. You have your comparison and your Boolean. Gotcha. Rambling on your if else's. You can make variables. There's math, pretty much random, all those different things that you're familiar with. There's math operators as well as
value.
Yeah, there's some complex math in here. And so the other thing is there is a light sensor on the end and a temperature sensor. There is also the acceleration and the pins. Now, each one of these also has more underneath it. And when you click more, you get the advanced stuff. So you have force, running time, how long is have been running, whether they released one of the pins, etc. Same thing under like LED. There's more stuff under LED where you can do animations. Same thing under radio. There's more advanced radio controls. With your advanced section down here, you start getting into writing your own functions. There are arrays, capability for arrays and list. There is text where you can have different strings of text as well.
Will the text come out on the screen in your hand or on
So
the computer
you can
screen?
you can scroll words across the screen, but if you have a Windows device, you can install the console and you can have this live messaging. So you can have a console, so you can also have text appear in the console. Like you can console log.
Cool.
For programming. So you do have a console if you are working on a serial connection, which I'm getting to. Down here at the bottom, you see the serial write line. So you can write to your console if you are on a PC. That's why it's under advanced, because it's not available to everything.
Gotcha.
And so there's some ideas of making games. I've never done it. I've seen it some programs where they do it. I personally find MakeCode a little complex to program in because it's not as easy as Scratch. There are some complexities in MakeCode when you start to get into harder programs. And you can start to make your own images where you can make a really big scene. So like if you were making a game and you wanted to like make a mountain, you can make like a mountain scene and have that appear. Does that make sense?
It would scroll, I assume.
Yeah, it would scroll across the screen. You also have full control to digital read and write your pins. So this is where you were talking about, can you attach things? So you have their digital and analog pins. And so you can attach soil sensors or any type of sensors you want, UV, whatever. And as long as they're like, they provide the data, basically analog, most of them, but you have a digital read write on all of these. So you can put LEDs to them, you can put speakers, etc., and have full control of sending your electrical signals through them, just like you would on an Arduino, Raspberry Pi, whatever. Same thing with like more, there's pulsing those pins, there's different things like that. There's the serial connection, which I was talking about. And then there's some other things that start to get into some pretty complex stuff I've never played with. Then there are a ton of add-ons for the microbit. So you can add on like a servo extension library to connect servos to it. But then there's like NeoPixels. But then there's actual like add-on kits that turn it into a robot and you can plug motors into, have it drive around and things like that. And that is some of the extension capabilities. So one thing I didn't show you is this also programs in JavaScript. So I was in block view, but you can switch over to JavaScript view and you can see the, oh, and now Python view, that's new. And you can see the Python and or JavaScript text-based code, and you can actually program and edit over here in the text-based, and it will make the changes in the block-based. So I can, you know, I think it's called freefall. I think it's called freefall. And I can change that, and then over here, nope, it's not called freefall. It's called something else.
It's okay.
I don't have extensive. Instead of happy, I can do sad. Okay, and then when I go back to block, that will now be a frowny face. When we go to the block, he's now frowning because I changed it to sad. So your blocks automatically update. So it's very good for that text block-based transition piece.
This is awesome. Thank you.
So it's a very powerful little device. That's why we wanted to give them to you. They're very inexpensive. They have a lot of functionality. And so Code Space is a vendor, and they are teaching a workshop this week. And their software programs these in Python, and they have a full curriculum for programming in Python. And although they do charge for their program, in my opinion, their cost is very, 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 very affordable. Like in comparison to other places, I think that they are a very affordable program for what they offer. It's a full Python curriculum for the microbit. They also have their own devices as well. And so I'm talking about MBlock earlier and showcasing it, and MBlock also has Python programming. So like if you're in a middle school and you're already teaching Scratch, and Scratch also, you can program these in Scratch as well with an extension, but you can also connect, add a microbit onto the MBlock when it's installed, and then you get your MBlock. You have your LEDs, your sensors, your pins, the wireless, the remote messaging, etc. It's not quite as robust as all the features in MakeCode, but what's really neat about this is now I can make this device change my Panda. So I could make the x-axis or the compass angle, and I can control my Panda's movement. So I can use this to control Panda. And you can do the same thing in Scratch. So when you're on Scratch's website, you can program it as well. So it's a very open source, very versatile, has a lot of support out there. And when you go to their website and you look at their microbits website and you look at the device pictures and stuff, they break down all the pins and what you can do with the pins, and how you can attach things to it. It's a really awesome hashtag to follow on Twitter, because there's some really neat projects that people are doing with them.
So if I wanted to do, like have everybody in class make a parachute, and could they put this, once it's charged up and programmed, can they put the microbit in there and have it measure the acceleration as it goes, or is that a little bit too much?
Yes and no. So you do have a battery. You have a battery pack, so
Yep.
it can't work without a computer or device. You start to get into some complications of getting that data from your device to your computer. I have the Bluetooth functionality on a PC is new. I've only ever used the Bluetooth functionality on like an iPad. So I have not looked at live streaming data from this device to the computer via Bluetooth. So one, I don't know if that's available. The serial connection I have done, but that involves tethering, and that doesn't help your parachute problem. So
Okay.
I don't know. But what you can do is store the value, and then when you press the A button, the number can scroll across the screen.
Yeah, but that would be one value, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, you can store multiple values, but you're gonna have to find a way to get those values somewhere.
Well, I'm thinking if I drop it from 32 feet, I've got 2 seconds for it to choose values. So I could have it store the acceleration every quarter of a second, and that's only 8 values. And as they scroll across the screen, the kids could write them down.
Right.
How many decimals does it go to for that? Do you know? Or does it just round to 0, 1, 2?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But we need to talk, and I can't talk to all these people about what we need to talk about, because I might have a better device for you.
No.
And that's all I got.
I got you. Well, I have a
If you're
cool
wanting to
toy.
do data collection like that in a small form factor, the problem I have with microbits is they don't have that ability to get the data off very easily. That's not where they excel,
Gotcha.
especially wirelessly. The Circuit Playground, what I didn't like about the Circuit Playground is they have way better sensors on them. They're about $5 more than the microbit. They have way better sensors, but same problem. I need to get the numbers off. And I made a binary LED, so that way you can represent a value from 0 to 200, well, really even higher than that, but I only went to 255, where the LEDs light up the I made an extension for this, so that way if you have like a sensor and you put the sensor value on, it shows up in binary, so you can convert it, and now you can have a very high level number being represented using the LEDs on this device.
Makes sense.
But that's not my solution for you. I have a different one. But my experience is getting the information off of these is challenging for that level of how many things you want to collect.
Yeah,
But-
I was just trying to figure out a way I could move it straight into my classroom.
But that would be a way. I mean, you can do it. I just have to, I don't know. I'd have to play with, you'd have to play with the Bluetooth. You'd have to play with you'd have to play with the Bluetooth. Have to play with how can I get stuff in the console. And you can store an array. I mean, you could store a list of all those values in a list. It's just getting that list from the device. The only way to do that is through your LEDs on the front, and they can scroll by, and they could repeat the list, and they could have these LEDs don't change color. So you can't like have them change color every value on the list, but you could have it do like a bunch of full lines and then do the next one, and then full lines and then do the next one. The full, like, you can have a loop that basically has it display all red and then go to the next value, all red and then scroll the next value, all red and then scroll the next value. So you know that it's going to the next value because you don't want all your numbers to run together in a line. Like, there's ways to do it. Yes, you could do it.
Cool.
Is it
Thank you.
ideal? I don't know.
I never get to do whatever the ideal thing is. I do the thing with what I've got. So
I think you might also, I don't know if there's any add-ons that have been developed that give you a screen. It's very possible. Like a 7-segment display, or a, if you have an Arduino, like, yeah, 7-segment displays, I guess, kind of what I'm thinking.
all right, I need to get back to my group because,
Yes,
well,
it's
I
1:30.
think I've died probably. So
Bye.
thank you so much. Thank you for all the information. It's very useful, very helpful. Awesome. Thank you.
Bye. Anybody else need anything while we're sitting here and hanging out? Some of you have workshops at 2, I'm sure. Okay, on that note, I'm going to end this session. Oh, sorry, somebody just showed up on camera. Does anybody need anything? Because I'm going to end this session here in a moment unless you need something from me.
No, I was listening. I just literally received my box. So I was trying to pull out. Yay. So I was trying to see some of the things you were talking about. And that
Shipped them a week and a half ago on free
and
mail.
so I jumped in late. And so I was just saving the website so I can try to go back to them at a later date as you were talking. So
yeah.
I see a lot of things that we probably could use.
Yeah, we were just, we kind of transitioned. Yes, Melissa, you can email me any questions you have. We transitioned from today's session, which was really on AI, where we were playing some really neat artificial intelligence features and some facial recognition and object recognition and text-to-speech and teachable machines. We were playing with some AI features earlier, and then we jumped into using our microbits that came in our box. But this session was recorded, and we're going to get the recording uploaded. So if you want to come back, we'll have it available after the week is over for you to pull out your box and play with some of the features of AI and the features that come with the microbit as well.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, great. Well, have a wonderful afternoon in whatever session you're heading back to for this afternoon. And anybody else still here? I'm going to shut this session down momentarily. So if you have any questions, ask them. If not, I'm going to go ahead and close it out soon.